Welcome to my kitchen. This is a preview of my week for meal prep that I'm calling Retro Week. This week is my ode to the Brady Bunch, with a few extras to bring it into 2024. Pork chops and applesauce, barley with mushrooms, and good old peas and carrots. Instead of just plain pork chops, I've added some onions with sage and thyme. A nice sauce made with white wine and Worcestershire sauce. You can use any size pork chops you want. If they are thicker, you could finish this in the oven. Sauté the onions, brown the chops, deglaze the pan, and then it all goes back into the pan to simmer until it's done. The pork chops make a perfect dinner with the other sides. And you can also use this in a sandwich or even in a salad. The applesauce is so retro, but some of the classics are just so good. I added some apple pie spice, which brings it up to date a little bit. By peeling and coring the apples first, you're able to have the apples two different ways, stewed and sauce. The stewed apples are just kept in a dish, and for the sauce, you can do it in different ways. I went low tech. I used a pastry cutter. You could use a food mill or a food processor. The nice thing about this dish is you can also use it in many ways and make it to your taste. I left the stewed apples plain and added just a little bit of sugar for the sauce. I find that the plain works best with the chops. Both go along with the meal and it's good either way. It's just your preference. You can also use this as a dessert or a snack. You can even mix it in your oatmeal. There's just so many ways to use this dish. The barley and mushroom add a nice hearty side to this menu. This is a complete and cozy winter meal. The barley is a great alternative to rice because it contains a lot of protein and it's very satisfying and keeps you full. With the addition of the mushrooms and the beef broth, it gives it a much richer flavor without it being heavy. Other than a couple of extra steps, the barley cooks very similar to rice. Bring the broth to a boil and simmer until it's done. By adding some extra cheese and fresh herbs, at the end it sort of had a risotto vibe. This dish also does double duty by adding either scrambled eggs or fried eggs. It becomes breakfast, lunch, or dinner. When I create a weekly menu, I try to bring things in that are going to be able to use in multiple ways. With the barley, you could even add some veggies like tomatoes or sweet peppers and make it a salad. And last but not least, a super retro, peas and carrots. But this recipe brings them into the future. I added some sauteed onions and a little bit of ginger, which makes it a little bit brighter and not so plain. All these dishes work really well together, and they stand on their own too. By doing meal prep this way, it gives you a variety and a way to create different meals with the same food. This stops things from getting boring. This plate of food was more than enough, and I finished the apples for dessert. The whole meal was 600 calories and had 40 grams of protein. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll be putting out individual videos for each dish. The recipes and more detailed instructions will also be available on Patreon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can follow along and create your own meal prep. Come join the fun at Brazenly Beau.